right, I call this meeting to order at 3:06 p.m. We will start with roll call. Board of Governors Rep. Nick.
Present.
Board of Governors Rep. Cami.
Present.
Equity Rep.
Present.
Students African Descent Rep. is absent. Education Rep. Graduate Rep.
Here.
International Representative is absent. Science Rep.
Here.
Business Rep.
Here.
First Representative is absent. Indigenous Representative Molly is absent. With regrets, Indigenous Representative Justice is absent. President.
Happy to be here.
VP Academic, present. VP Finance and Operations. Oh, late. VP Residence Affairs.
Present.
VP Activities and Events.
Oh, sorry, yes, here.
Deputy Chair is absent. Sean Ryan is absent with regrets. Faculty Advisor is absent. I would like to respectfully acknowledge that Santa Fe is located on the traditional and unceded lands of Mi'kmaq people. So thanks all for coming. I know it's a busy season right now, so we'll try and make it quick. And with that, can I get approval of the agenda?
I'll move to approve the agenda. I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Would someone like to call the question? Thanks, Dan. Anyone opposed to calling the question? Okay, we can now vote on the motion to approve the agenda. All those in favor? Motion passes 9-0. Okay, next is constituency report, starting with Nick.
Yeah, so everything's pretty much in my report. It's pretty detailed, busy month. A lot of budget stuff. It was a budget meeting for the university, like 10 budget meetings for the union. Really happy to have been to all of them. That's about it.
Thanks. Cami?
I don't have a lot to report. I also sat on the budget meeting with Nick and the rest of the board. I also sat on the hiring committee for deputy chair. And other than that, I don't have anything to report.
Thanks. Equity representative?
Nothing to report.
Thanks. Education? Graduate?
Nothing to report. That's not my.
Science?
So emergency grants has been meeting weekly except for last week, and tomorrow is the outstanding teaching award committee. Their meeting, so we're gonna hopefully choose that award for the future. And other than that, I've been really busy with academics recently.
Mm-hmm. Congrats on defending your thesis.
Thanks, you.
Giving us out.
Thanks.
Anyone or any questions for Dan? Business?
Yes, only thing really would be budget and finance meetings.
Lovely. Any questions for constituency reports before we move on? Okay, exec report, starting with Sarah.
Not too much to report on that isn't in my report. I think Nick said it very well. Lots and lots and lots of stuff about different budgets and a lot about Student Nova Scotia transition, as well as I didn't put it in my my report. I don't think here, but I just I was on the hiring committee for the new executive director for Students Nova Scotia, which is very, very exciting. And other than that, we had our executive training retreat this weekend, and it was very long, but I think it was very informative for the incoming executives, so I was happy to be a part of it. But yeah.
Questions for Sarah? Okay, Siobhan?
Yeah, mostly just meetings. Senate is this week, so we met with Senate steering last week. Dean of Education hiring is taking up most of my time, and then I also spent a decent amount of time this past reporting period developing the content for presentations that I gave at the executive retreat.
Nice. Any questions for Siobhan? Okay, Patty?
Yeah, sorry if I couldn't report on this week. As you can probably guess, a lot of it was thinking of a budget, and it was. So yeah, the last couple of weeks, it's really just been budgeting and transitioning Brendan. It's been 95% of our time is working together on budget and miscellaneous items for transition, as well as just keeping up with the operations. And getting ready to close down. Actually, most of the breakfast program will close, or it's closed this week. It's not opening, during exams. The Student Resource Center will be open 1 day a week, and DriveU and PSP will go till the end of the school year.
Nice. Any questions for Patty? Okay, Keelan?
Yeah, it's been busy. Stuff. We did some hiring, or not hiring, we'll hire again applications, which is cool. And then it's just been like transitioning awards, and then, yeah. Keep it on, everyone. Put on the record.
Questions for Keelan?
Yeah, this is just a me question. I don't know if you can answer this. When did they start like doing the O crew hiring?
It just depends.
Cool,
on the
cool,
year.
cool.
Yeah, probably towards the end of April now, because like I don't think it'll be like, you know, like you did the in-person one like once upon a time, correct?
Yeah, well, like
Yeah.
last year. So
It's
COVID.
probably gonna be the same thing this year, like the video thing. So
Cool.
yeah.
Any questions for Keelan? Okay, Jack.
Let's go. Yeah, finally finished house hockey. That was very exciting. So yeah, got the championships, handed the trophies out. Hopefully I get them soon, right, Patty?
What?
What? I get the trophies back soon, hopefully.
Oh,
But yeah.
Sorry for winning.
Other than house hockey though, just a lot of like residence conversations with the university. I've been reading up on some articles and the residence review that was put out from 2016 and 2017, which was great. And then a lot of transition stuff. So yeah, we just had our training weekend, which went really well. So feeling pretty confident with the incoming team. And beyond that, kind of just getting into the end of the year. SUCLs are all finishing up their final few events for their house councils and stuff in their house before everybody starts going home. Sad face. XXD. But yeah, that's about all. Do you have any questions?
Okay, with that, we can move to the presentation of the student union budget. Patty?
Yeah. How are we presenting?
If you'd like to, you can set up there if you want, or if you want to email it to everyone, it looks like everybody has a laptop, you could just
Yeah.
talk.
It's emailed to
I think we
everyone.
all have
Oh,
it.
we all have it, so you can
Everyone
just
has
talk
it.
then.
It's attached to it.
Yeah.
We're just gonna talk?
Just do talking.
We're just gonna talk to it?
Just do talk.
I mean.
I'm gonna stop talking.
All right, we'll get right into it then.
Let us know like what page you're on.
Yeah.
Also maybe turn around.
Yeah,
Patty,
Keelan,
do I regard the cover photo?
what?
Do I look at the cover photo?
No, don't look at the cover photo.
Okay.
That's what happens when you do transition to same-day council.
We can still hear you on mic.
Yep. Okay, so since we're not getting up on the big screen, everyone can follow along. So all I'm really gonna do is I'm gonna make it somewhat similar to the informal budget meeting we had on Monday, and thanks to everyone that came out to that, most of you that were there and also here. So I can start with questions for those who's looked over at Reddit and have some stuff they wanna jump into. And if there are no questions, I can just start rounding out the notes, large changes, and that'll be it. So does everybody have any questions to start? No? All right. So I'll just go by page and just read off the notes. So the notes are the little red triangle in the right-hand corner of each cell. There's notes in there, and just those are the budget items that kind of need to be addressed and spoken to, and are the most kind of relevant. So in that student fee breakdown page, if everyone can make it to that. So on the first page, we can see that our proposed student fee for the year is $180. And it's a 3% increase from last year. And that 3% is a standard rate that university fees increase by due to inflation and other items. And then we were projected a little over 4,000 students this year. This came from the registrar. So it's a formula, they give us, they gave us more around 45.50, and we take that down by about 400 to account for part-time students. So that's what it's 400 less. And then, yeah, we take those two numbers, multiply them together, and we get our total student fee revenue. And then some WUSC athletics funds are allocated to those separate organizations, and then we have our fee for the organism or for the operating budget. So for those that are used to budget, nothing new there, really nothing no big surprises. The overall summary, so what this is each little sheet down below. So general operations, representative council, executive, activities and events. It's all of those merged together, kind of consolidated to give us our bottom line. So we were able to get a bottom line of a little over $5,000, which is anywhere between 0 to 10,000 is normal for a nonprofit. And we never want to have a deficit, of course. We are allowed to pass a deficit budget, but we are supposed to project at least break even, and best practice no more than $10,000 in revenues. So in our general, oh, by the way, too, if you have a question that comes up as I'm going, throw your hand up and I can address it. Again, so yeah, so those in the general operations budget down below in our sheet. Those student fees came with student fee breakdown. Health and dental insurance premiums, so that's at roughly 1,450 domestic students and 220 international students. And this is just a rough formula we use to project how much will come in premiums. Student assistance program, so that goes to my wellness and our interest from our investments. And then there's no money in the, or there's no projected revenue in the endowment withdrawal because we aren't taking any money out this year. We don't need to. Farm to Save is now gone, as you all know, so we are no longer collecting revenue at all. And the university contract revenues. So what this line is essentially there used to be 2 clothing stores at the university. The university ran one and we ran one. It didn't really make any sense. I don't know why we had to, but essentially they promised to give us $25,000 each year if we closed our store. So we were like, that's a lot easier. So that's why that money is there. Depreciation equipment line now down our expenses, same as last year. It's just for mainly our new computers we bought, miscellaneous items, and any new purses we might need. Our protective COVID equipment. It's at around $3,500 this year, based off what we think we'll need at the start of the year in September 2021. So it's a lot less than we got most of our standard, all of our screens, and a decent amount of like sanitizing wipes, hand sanitizer, all that kind of stuff. So it's just a little bit more we'll need. And then our PD, so it was like this is for our full-time staff. I just need the constant training to keep up. And then salaries and benefits, we've upped that line because of course we don't have a bar manager right now, but we are going to be hiring a new one. And just in talks with Sean Ryan, Julianne, and just executive the past couple of years, there's some issues with the bar manager role and often how young the bar manager was. They were usually below the age of 30. So we're now going to be looking at hiring more of an adult, I guess you could say, someone more maybe in their 50s or 40s or 50s. So the pay will have to increase for that position, and that's why salaries are now projected to be up. But we won't be hiring that job until hopefully June to offset some costs there. And to council, pretty much nothing has changed at all. Just some notes there, simply voting. Executive as well, not too much has changed. Hopefully our professional development can go back to normal, and mainly our president and external next year can attend the conferences and the roundtables they need to. So that's where a lot of that comes from as well for the professional development. Activities and events. So this page right here, the consolidated page is pretty much a replica to the overall summary of just smaller schedules. So again, we usually make a little bit of money off activities and events. It's kind of like it's metaphor for our budget as a whole, I guess you could say. So if we go over to activities and events 1, you can see our general schedules. So for the general schedule, we put at roughly 80% operating, what we would have for budget for a normal year. Some things can't always be at 80% though. Some things need to be, some items are fixed and some are, based off of, and then down orientation week, we've changed up the proposal for the way we sell kits. So they'll be cheaper again at $75, and we're projected to sell at $800, which is what we normally would in a regular O-week year. And we're projecting more ticket sales this year, just based off second years. I kind of didn't really have a chance to have a real O-week, and that might want to have that experience again, but more in person. So we'd be kind of offering some tickets to be sold to second years that want to participate up until a certain limit, because we can only have so many people in this as well. As we get down the line, a couple of things just added, changed around. Other than that, we're trying to have X-Ray and Go. We're budgeting for it as it's going to go at 100%. If that doesn't happen, then we don't get that line. Same with Frost Week, assuming it'll be at 100% by then. Graduation, as we know, in 2 or 3 weeks here, isn't happening at all, so there's absolutely nothing in that budget line. In societies, nothing has changed. Any questions so far?
Good job.
In the communications line, I don't think a single thing has changed. Same, everything went smooth this year. Same with kind of residence affairs. Pretty much nothing has changed. Same with external. Again, we kind of have like a rough idea of what our conference expense will be like. So we're basing it off of what we projected for last year. What will happen, I don't know, but we have the money there just in case it does. Finance is our smallest budget. Nothing has changed. Yeah, Sarah, but.
You don't have anything in for election expenses?
No, I do. I'm looking at the wrong budget then.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's under SNS, Honorarium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
all good. Nothing in finance, no change in SFRC, same as normal, or we're budgeting the same as normal. Drive View, we now have a sponsorship from Alumni Affairs, which is great, and we're gonna go back to, try to go back to our regular hours we work where they work, which is like Wednesday to Friday until about 1:30 or 1:30 p.m. and then every other night until 12 or midnight. And then try and get exams or exam time back from to 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. So if students are studying late and need to drive home.
Would it still be 12 on Wednesdays?
No, Wednesdays would be 1:30. So
Oh.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday would be till 1:30.
Oh, okay.
So it'd take people home from the bar or anyone studying. Yeah. Wait, do you mean during exam time or do you
No.
mean general? Okay. Goal next in, again, always the hot topic, and sometimes the hardest budget to make, you never know. This year in sales, we're projected to, sorry, I saw something funny. We're projected to reach around $230,000 in sales this year in a sit-down COVID year, which is pretty decent, considering what our capacity is. So we're going to project or set a goal for the new bear manager to around just under 300,000 in liquor sales, because that is our main driver, our main revenue generator for the end. So if liquor sales, then we lose money, and that's not the goal here. And then our promo and sponsorship down below, we aren't making we're not selling as much beer as we normally have been. As in other alcoholic drinks are kind of taking over the market. So our main sponsor, which is Molson Coors, they give us sponsorship based on how many hectoliters of beer we sell. So they have stopped giving us as much as we normally have. But they're selling seltzers now, and that's what everyone loves, including myself. So hopefully that sponsorship might even go back up. Yeah, and then so based on how many liquor sales come in, kind of gives leeway to the rest of the expenses budget, and what we kind of added to. Liquor purchases, again, it's a fraction of liquor sales, and we try and keep that standard. And again, some costs are fixed, like security we have to hire for outside line management. That will always be there, and that won't change based on how many pints we sell that night. And then down to wages at the bottom, minimum wage is increasing to $12.95 per hour. This has already happened now in April. So the staff have to be paid accordingly, so wages have gone up for that line as well. That's it on the goal next in. CFXU, nothing really has changed. They have decided to cut a lot of their members. They think that this year they're gonna have too many cooks in the kitchen, and they have a lot of people who were getting paid to do nothing, they said. So they're saving some money for themselves by cutting a lot of the positions and kind of keeping a smaller ship, which they're happy with. So I'm happy with it too. And that's really all there is about the Fox. Same with the ZAV. We are suggesting that they don't create as many or don't print as many copies. So they're printing 750 copies this year per issue. Now they're printing now around 500. And again, we also tried a new system to pay the ZAV staff last year. So it used to be by honorarium, but now it's per article that someone writes. So it's $25 an article. For those who were there at Monday's meeting, Julianne kind of went more into depth with this. So we kind of overstated what we projected, so now it's back to a normal number. And finally at the end there is our honorarium breakdown, so how all of our people get paid. I've again made a 10% increase to everyone's pay, just because, you know, things get more expensive and people need to be paid more based on the economy, all that kind of fun stuff. And there was a long time where pay rates were set and they were never increased, so people weren't getting properly compensated. So we're making that margin a little bit larger until we can get back to a normal number. By next year, I think we can finally go back to making wages increase 3% instead of 10, so that it's consistent. But overall, like from this year to last year, it's only an addition of, you know, given that the Fox and ZAV also cut a lot of their people, but it's only an extra $1,000 really in honorarium this year. So it's no huge change to the budget.
Can you talk more about inflation? I like that.
My econ marks cannot talk to inflation at all.
Based on economy and stuff.
I think you can. You guys get it. Yeah, and that's really it in a very quick, brief summary. That's what our budget's like this year. Any questions?
I just have one about the CFXU.
Yeah.
I remember like in a previous council meeting, you mentioned that they had like a piece of equipment that broke.
Yes.
Was that ever replaced?
It was, yeah. I don't get too involved with the operations of the CFXU, like in the ZAV. The executive aren't really supposed to, but Sean deals a lot of that. But yeah, they have this like sound engineer based out of Halifax that pretty much solves all their problems. He came in and fixed it, and that would fall under the depreciation of the equipment line.
Okay.
Yeah.
Siobhan,
No, I take it back.
Yeah.
I
Mark?
have one question, just maybe not knowing what honorariums are, but what happened to the rest of the VP external honorarium salaries? Was that all paid this year?
No, the VP external honorarium does not get paid out once they left their position. That doesn't get reflected in the budget, that gets reflected in the actuals.
Oh, okay, got it.
But now we have a new external person hired for next year that we are expecting to work the whole year. So again, not everything in the budget always gets played out.
Right.
Yeah, great question though.
Siobhan, did you have a question?
No, I'm good.
This is just a random question. So
Yeah.
assuming we end the year with a bit more money than we expected to, where does that money go?
Yeah, that goes into our investments.
Oh, nice.
And like, the thing about a state union budget is that we give certain areas money to spend, And it's not always the case that people don't spend it, no matter how hard we try and push people. For example, society allocations, that's a budget line we give 8,000 to every year. This year, I think only $1,000 that was touched. Other work to be said on because of COVID, the year before that, it was 6,000, didn't reach its full potential. So yeah, it does happen that, we do end up having a surplus. Yeah, and it goes for our bottom line, and it's put in an investment account, and now we're using a lot of that money that we've accumulated over the years to help with the renovation. Or another time, there was a very large surplus that was put into our endowment fund. So we kind of put that away, keep it safe, and pull from it whenever we need it. And that's kind of like a common practice. As a nonprofit, we're not supposed to make profit, but we have to keep rainy day funds there in case a catastrophe happens, in case anything happens. It's all, insurance can't cover everything. If we were to be sued for whatever reason, there are organizations out there that like suing student unions, so we always have to cover all traces.
Fun.
Yeah. Siobhan?
Is peer support not in the budget?
Peer support is just the honorarium paid to the program coordinators, and it's under the finance office.
Cool.
Yeah. Yes, sir?
Do they not have any money for like things?
It would fall under like office supplies, which is again under the finance office. So like any like miscellaneous thing they need, like something printed. Like we put a little bit more in there for them to get like their frosted windows and like the soundproof stuff last year, but now they're kind of set, so they're good for now.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions? Okay, then next is a presentation of a final draft of the strategic plan. I also realized I just did a little typo in the agenda. It's 2021 to 2024, not 23. So we'll have to amend the motion when we get to it on in new business. But yeah.
I tried to forward it to council, but it said it was too big.
I forwarded it before council.
You did?
Yeah. Did you guys get it?
Okay. Might have been too big.
It's in my sent items.
When did you send it?
I
3
got it,
p.m.
but you sent it to the incoming team, just like we have it, but I don't have the.
Oh, it says delivery failed. Let me try it again.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get it.
I can
I can
put it
forward
on
it
the
on
screen
the
perhaps.
Yep, we can do that too. Might be
Yeah.
more fun.
It's just because it's too big, so
Oh.
anyone who tries to send it, it's probably not good.
Once you send it, make sure everyone deletes it from their email, because it's not gonna take up space on your iPad.
Oh, gee, thank you. Wait, I'll do that later. How do we just go green?
Yes, I'm a little confused.
Why don't we do a 4-3?
Excuse me. Sarah.
This was the first one. We already had this book. But also,
Alright, I couldn't tell who was sure. No, I actually won't. I actually won't. I know she does.
No, why did I tell you? That was such a bad idea.
No,
That's
no,
on
no.
me, honestly. That's on me.
Don't worry.
Don't tell Katie. Katie
No.
knows my thing.
Oh, yeah. That's so
Should we be giving money to peer support if we want to do stuff?
amazing. You're talking about how you want to
Shouldn't,
Oh.
Can you still pass the budget? It's one presentation, right? It's too late to pass it this week.
Or do you not want to pass?
Hey, Dusty.
Yeah, you have to amend the agenda. I just don't know how to do that. I bet Nick does though.
Hey, what's up?
Okay, good.
What was it? Can we not really amend the agenda?
It's good?
It's good, I just didn't read it, it's right there.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
oh.
I'm sorry, it's like, yeah.
Oh, you thought the motion wasn't there.
I thought the motion wasn't
oh,
there.
I see what you mean.
I just saw names and got scared.
Yeah.
No, you did everything right, thank you.
Oh my gosh, that's my roommate.
All right, we can get started. So we're going to be talking about the actual, like the frame up of like how the layout is of the strategic plan, and less on the content just because we have talked about it a few times, but we are passing it today. So if there is anything that you want to bring up before it gets passed, then absolutely please bring it up now. But we have gone through it a few times. This is all stuff that you've already seen before, so I mean, just do it if you want to, but you probably won't. So, but just kind of talking about what you want to see changed within the actual layout of the strategic plan. So, this is just the opening, and kind of the first thing that we thought of as a committee was there's a little bit much hockey. We kind of wanted to ask you guys how you think about that. There's just a lot of hockey in it, so we were just wanted to like diversify all of the things that the students union does.
I personally feel like it's too much hockey.
Yeah.
I second that.
Yeah. It's a lot of hockey. Yeah?
What do you mean by there's too much hockey in the strat plan?
No, like, we're talking about like pictures.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking
okay.
about the
I
actual
agree, yeah.
layout, the design. Just because it's not, 100% representative of all the different aspects of the students' union. Hockey's only,
It's
few
just
weekends a
hockey
year.
in it.
We
do other things
yes?
besides hockey.
I think it's great to take some out and have a variety of things, but definitely leave some house hockey one.
There's definitely going to be some house hockey.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Never mind, I was gonna say the exact opposite of that.
All right, moving on. But I do think the picture of me, Sister Gravino and Father Gary is really cute, so. Okay, so then coming into this is we just have the table of contents, so breaking down what exactly the strategic plan is and the different categories and how we've kind of grouped them all together. Then we're also having just a letter from the organizational review. We don't have it yet, but it's going to be just a picture of us giving a smile, the people that, we spent all year writing this. And then we also have the pictures around, which are kind of fun, but again, a lot of hockey, and there's also a lot at the end, so kind of looking to diversify that up a little bit. And we'll obviously change the photo of committee into a photo of the committee. And then, so we're probably going to take the letter from the organizational review and just keep it on this page as the introduction. So this one is going, sorry, I keep flipping it back and forth, but this one is going to be just the table of contents, and then the next one is going to be the introduction, which is the letter from the organizational review. Okay. What do you folks think about that? Do you like it better like this? Do you think it would be better on 1 page or 2 pages? it might be a little bit busy for one page. That's why we were thinking as a committee that we were going to split it up, just because this is what it looks like, so we would just make the table of contents bigger, and then the photo on the other side. Yeah?
Yeah, it's obviously a very big introduction, so I don't see how you'd fit both of them on the same page. You know?
Yeah.
I think it's good as is.
Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, we'll take out the photo under the. Yep. And then, so we have the category services and operations. And then I can just quickly go through these if you folks want, or would we prefer to just read them on your own?
Maybe, do you wanna just run through the objectives?
Yep.
Just read the objectives one
I
more
feel
time?
like we already went through that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't wanna like limit if anybody has like any last thoughts before it's passed, you know? Yeah. Okay, I'll run through the different objectives and we can just talk a little bit about that. So the first one is partner with alumni for support and job opportunities. The next one, moving on, oh, and also we're hoping to kind of change up the photos a little bit throughout the different sections or pages. And do you folks like the orange and the blue hue around the rooms, keeping it within kind of branding consistency?
Looks cute.
We'll do thumbs up. Okay, epic. And then the second one, did someone just speak? Sorry. And then the second one is, how do you folks like the font?
Yes.
Yeah? Pretty consistent within the branding. All right, and then the second one is prioritize NIMBR's tutoring solution in orientation week. And then Siobhan did kind of speak a little bit about this, but do you want to talk about what you had suggested for this?
Yes, I was just going to, move to amend it to read, instead of NIMBUS specifically say tutoring, just because we don't know what we're doing in the future. Like, this is technically outlasting our contract with NIMBUS, and we may renew it, but in the case that we don't, it still has to be relevant. So that's it.
Yeah. And also, like, the same resources are required for kind of both of them. We would just have to change the wording around, but there's still going to be, you know, a review of the contract with NIMBUS, meeting with the information, as well as the different indicators of success. Like, even if it's not NIMBUS specifically, the point is that we should be pushing tutoring during orientation week, so students have that as a resource from the start. But
Did you wanna make that motion when the motion to pass happens?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
awesome. Then moving on to marketing and communications. And then, so another part about this is that, oh, sorry, I keep flipping through them, but I just wanted to address okay, so under this category, we hope to address concerns, adapt current offerings. So the little preamble before them, we're probably going to take them out and also have just the preamble under the first one of each section. So it'll be describing the section and then go into the objectives and the indicators of success, rather than having them under each one. So you see how it has the same preamble under each of them? So we'll be taking that out, so it's all in the first one. Awesome. And then, so same thing with marketing communications. The preamble will just be on the first one. Oh my gosh, I keep forgetting to read them. So more effective communication with students. And then we'll have better engagement with first year education and graduate students. More effective advertisement of services. Transparency of students' union executive and representative roles. People using address food insecurity and reduce stigma surrounding SFRC. Prioritize Frost Week during orientation. Design and implement a municipal advocacy week. Increase student advocate accessibility and efficiency. Advocate for university to make gender and sexual diversity role year-round. Yeah. So that is just very brief rundown of the strat plan and kind of the changes that the committee identified that we want to see changed. And then for all of you folks, if you have anything else that you want to add, or if you don't like any of the changes that kind of the committee came forward with, any compliments, whatever you guys want. Epic.
Thanks, guys. Alrighty. First item of business on the agenda.
I'll motion to approve the meeting budget for the 2021-2022.
I'll second that.
Love it. Discussion? Sarah?
I just want to say, good job, Patty. It was really well done, and I'm proud of you for not forgetting anything, because there's like so many things that you have to remember. And thank you for adding stuff in for the election. I appreciate it. Other than that, no questions.
Further discussion?
I'll call the question.
Thank you. Is anyone opposed to calling the question? Seeing none, we can vote on the motion to approve the budget for the 2021-2022 year. All those in favor? Motion passes 9 to 0. All right, motion to approve the strategic plan 2021-2023. Anybody?
Okay, I'll move to do that, but I'll also amend it so it's 2021 to 2024.
Yep.
Cool.
Any discussion on the amendment?
Do I amend? Okay.
Just after this one, yeah. Okay, does someone want to call the question on that amendment? Thanks, Dan. Anyone opposed to calling the question on the amendment? Seeing none, we can vote on the motion to amend the main motion so that it says motion to approve the strategic plan 2021-2024. All those in favor? Motion passes 9 to 0. Okay, that wasn't the straw plan though. That was just the amendment.
We love good governance.
Further discussion on the motion to approve the strategic plan?
Okay, I move to amend, can I just say about the points I've already discussed?
Yes.
Okay.
Is there, a second on that amendment? Cammie, thanks. Discussion? Just so it's clear for the minutes, she's changing the Nimbus tutoring portion of the draft plan to just tutoring, so that if we lose or don't go back to the contract with Nimbus, we're not tied down to anything in our straw plan. Further discussion on the amendment? Would someone like to call the question? Thanks, Lauren. Anyone opposed? Okay, seeing none, we can now vote on the amendment. All those in favor? Motion passes 9 to 0. Okay, any further discussion on the approval of the strategic plan 2021-2024? Thank you, Daniel. Anyone opposed to calling the question? Seeing none, we can vote on the motion to approve the strategic plan 2021-2024 as amended. All those in favor? Okay, motion passes 9
Yes,
Next item of business.
I move to ratify Broden, DeCock as House Council Coordinator 2021-2022.
Thank you, JC. Discussion?
Okay, I think I was the only one here who sat on that. You know, obviously a very important role, and there were like a lot of really good applicants, but I think it's rare these days to find someone who put in as much energy and commitment as Broden did. Like, oh my god, he was like 110% ready to take on that role that day, like experienced, energetic, just a wise fit. It was a pretty unanimous decision, yeah.
Further discussion?
I would like to also add during the interview when asked what he considered the role to be, he kind of talked about being the messiah of the SUCLs, and I like that, you know? So,
That make more sense.
yeah.
Okay.
As you are.
Any other discussion on Broden?
I call the question.
Thanks. Anyone opposed to calling the question? Okay, seeing none, we can vote on the motion to ratify Brody DeCroft as House Council Coordinator 2021-2022. All those in favor? Motion passes 9 to 0.
Wait, 9 to 9 to 0?
9 to 0, sorry. Next item of business.
A motion to ratify Samuel Delaney as House Council Coordinator.
Wonderful.
I'll second.
Thank you. Discussion?
I was on the hiring panel as well as Nick, and Sam is this year's current House Council Coordinator. Seems to have done a good job. He's experienced in the role. He's also working on through his accounting degree at a co-op, so he has plenty of experience in the field. And he gave some really good practical answers for some of the problem solving interview questions, so we thought he was the best fit.
Further discussion or additions? Would someone like to call the question? Thank you, sir. Is anyone opposed? Seeing none, we can vote on the motion to ratify Samuel Delaney as House of Council Coordinator 2021-2022. All those in favor? Motion passes 9 to 0. Next item of business.
I move to ratify Kaylee Beaton as the SFRC Coordinator 2021-2022.
Lovely. Is there a seconder on? Thank you, JC. Discussion. Who sat on that hiring panel?
I think Henderson did.
Okay. Then maybe let's move to postpone this agenda item until the next meeting of council when Henderson will be here, so we can talk about it a little bit.
I think it was Henderson, I'm not too sure though.
Yeah, well, either way, it doesn't seem like they're here, so,
Well, Brendan was definitely there.
yeah. Would someone like to make that motion? It's just a motion to postpone the main motion until the next meeting of council. Okay, Joe moves, yep, Lauren seconds. Any discussion on the motion to amend the main motion? Seeing none, would someone like to call the question? Thanks, Cammy. Okay, is anyone opposed to calling the question? Seeing none, we can vote on the motion to amend the main motion until the next meeting of council. All those in favor? Okay, motion passes 9 to 0. Next item of business. Would someone like to move to the next item?
I will move to ratify Tiffany
Yep.
Bondru, okay, and Casey Lafreniere, it's French, as Okru co-chairs 2021-2022. I'm an awful person, I know.
Second, thank you, JC. Discussion.
Okay, I was on that panel. It was really good. It was really hard. They were all so great. But I mean, like, let's just face it. These two had like both the energy and spirit needed to like be Okru co-chairs, but also the organization and commitment to advocacy that would allow them to, pull off an O week successfully. We felt like they would work well together. That's all I have to say.
Nice. Is there any further additions to that? No? Okay, would someone like to move to call the question? Mike, thank you. Is anyone opposed to calling the question? Seeing none, we can vote on the motion to ratify Tiffany Bondoc and Casey Lafreniere as O Group co-chairs. All those in favor? Sarah? Thank you. Motion passes 9-0. Okay, final item on the agenda.
I move to ratify Rebecca Cano as deputy chair of 2021-2022.
I'll second.
Thank you. Discussion.
So I sat on this committee. Rebecca's currently an RO. She had a lot of experience running the elections. She brought a lot of knowledge forward about how the position worked, and we voted unanimously on this panel.
Wonderful. Any further additions? Would someone like to move to call the question? Thank you, Mike. Is anyone opposed to calling the question? Seeing none, we can vote on the motion to ratify Rebecca Cano as Deputy Chair 2021-2022. All those in favor? Okay, motion passes 9-0. All right, well, that's the end of our agenda for today. And within an hour, which is super great. Good luck everybody in exams. And I also want to say thank you to all of you guys who've been making the time to sit on hiring panels. I know it's not the best thing to be doing in the middle of exams and at the end of the semester, but we do really appreciate you guys doing that. So thank you. Yes, sir?
Is our next council meeting going to be on the internet?
It will be on the internet, yes.
Should we do taking a picture?
Yeah, we can take a picture.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yay.
Wait, is there another council meeting in this
No.
semester?
Yes, there will be another council meeting.
No. We can, yeah?
What?
Okay.
Yeah, we can take a picture.
Yeah, let's do taking a picture.
Yeah.
It's not crazy here.
Yes, it has been a great year. Would someone like to move to adjourn the meeting?
I'll move to adjourn.
Okay, second. That was the fastest second we've ever seen. Okay, we can vote on the motion to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor? Motion passes 9-0.